Good afternoon, Dons! Welcome back to another week of video announcements. I'm Jeremy Gosh.
And I'm Matthew Hernandez. Dons, yearbooks are now selling for $85, so place those orders before it's too late.
You can purchase them through this link. Seniors, grad night is this year, and is being hosted at Long Branch Saloon and Farms on May 30th. Be sure to secure your spot before prices rise at the end of the month.
Jeremy, have you heard anything about competitive diving?
No, I haven't. What even is that?
You know, I'm not so sure myself. Let's go take some insight from somebody that does.
Hi, my name is Ava and I dive at Stanford Diving Club. I started diving because I did gymnastics for about 11 years and I was kind of getting to the point where everyone's making decisions about colleges and trying to get recruited. But I finished level 9 and I started to kind of fall out of love with it because it was really competitive and the hours are really demanding. So I wanted to try something new. When I quit, I didn't really know what to do, but all my friends who quit did diving, so I thought I would try it, and I ended up really liking it. Diving was definitely a more comfortable environment. It was like a whole 180 for me because the hours are almost half. It's a lot less, and it's really fun to experience with like new people, and my coach is pretty relaxed, so you get to have fun and try new things. For the future, I want to pursue diving in college, hopefully. I'm in the process of kind of reaching out to swim and dive coaches right now, trying to set up meetings and talk about the possibility of me being on their team in the future. To get into Stanford Diving Club, my mom just reached out to the head coach who also coordinates with the actual Stanford Diving coach, and you just go in for like an hour and try out. They made me do like some flips on the trampoline and conditioning and whatnot, and they just put you in a group and you start pretty soon. One of the struggles I faced in diving was kind of overcoming my fear of trying new things, especially when you progress really fast. It can be kind of intimidating, and a lot of things were unnatural to me, but working through the lows made it a little bit more rewarding when you get a new dive, or you can be proud of yourself for trying something new. My favorite part about diving is getting to spend time with my teammates and kind of learn new things together. My group is really small right now. There's like 3 other people, but they're so supportive and they kind of push me to try new things and get out of my comfort zone. I definitely think people could start diving, and I really would recommend it to people even if they don't have like gymnastics or swim background. I think it's really beginner friendly, so you should definitely try diving.
Wow, I never knew diving was so intense. I'll have to give it a try at some point.
Hey Jeremy, you remember senior superlatives, right?
Of course, I actually won most goalable.
Well, that's not a surprise. Anyways, this year's students have the option to vote for staff superlatives as well.
Wow, that sounds fun. I should go submit my vote right now. Have you heard about the elective AVID? They help students orient themselves and guide them through discovering what they're passionate about.
Oh yeah, I've actually heard about it. I actually know some people that take it as well. Let's go see what they have to say.
Hi, my name is Miss Daniel.
I am Max Lanoy, Mr. V.
I'm Miss Caldwell. My name is Alejandra Cheever.
I'm Miss Chiaro. AVID stands for Advancement via Individual Determination, and it's a nationally recognized program in over 6,000 schools. And our mission statement is to help close the opportunity gap by preparing all students for career and college readiness and success.
It is a support class for students who find themselves generally in the middle, who are wanting to go to a 4-year university off the bat.
They apply to be in the program and they're selected to take part in our program for all 4 years, and they stay with the same teacher. So my students are currently sophomores, and I'll stay with them until they graduate in 2 years.
So you really build a strong connection with the students. At least that's the hope.
So we're teaching them skills such as note-taking and how to study and how to work in collaborative groups to help each other.
Working with the older AVID students, the focus is definitely a little bit more on preparing for college, really more intense college research. And so when I'm teaching the freshmen, everything is about preparing them to be their best selves in high school for the next 4 years.
And what that looks like in the AVID class is teaching like those soft skills. How do you take notes? How do you stay organized? How do you write in a planner? Why you should write in a planner?
But also navigating the school system, so everything related to here at Aragon, but also beyond.
Our core for AVID is WICR, which is writing, inquiry, collaboration, organization, and reading. And so those are all skills that you need to be successful in any content area.
So it's really about solidifying the foundations of the AVID practice and then also developing the skills that will allow them to be successful.
We do a tutorial once a week where students bring in questions that they have about certain subjects, generally math or science. So we work through those questions with either a tutor or just amongst themselves as the peers, which is meant to mimic college study groups.
Something also that AVID students have a benefit of is taking different field trips. A college field trip in the fall where all AVID students are able to go. The sophomores and juniors have an opportunity to take an overnight field trip to Southern California. And then we also do other field trips. We call them cultural field trips, where we take the students to have an experience that they might not have otherwise. And so we went this year to the Tech Museum. All AVID district schools get together for a field day. Together we play games. We're going to do a college panel. We bring in these inflatables and the students get to interact with AVID students from other schools.
I really like to think that AVID is for everyone, as long as people want to join it and want to do the work and they are willing to abide by the AVID contract. And I think AVID is for everyone.
AVID taught me that students are like icebergs, right? We only see like the 10% above the water, but there's so much more going on beneath the surface. So I really credit AVID for making me a better person. And you know, this is my first senior class. I know I'm going to be a wreck. You know, they were tiny black boxes on Zoom, and now they are going to go on and do great things. And I feel so privileged and honored that I got to walk them through their 4 years at Aragon, and I'm excited to see how they will, you know, take flight.
But join the AVID family.
Wow, that really seems like a great class to take.
Matthew, have you bought your prom tickets yet?
Oh, I actually forgot to.
Just make sure you bring a physical school ID when purchasing yours. Prices will continue to increase, so get your ticket fast.
Jeremy, have you ever tried to contact NASA?
Yeah, right, like NASA would ever want to contact me.
Well, let's go take a look at a group of students who have.
In January 2022, NASA selected 57 winning teams out of over 600 entries in its inaugural nationwide Techrise Student Challenge. A team of 6 from Aragon Space Clubs were selected as one of the winning teams and were awarded $1,500 to spend on building the experiment.
My name is Mr. Moretti, and I teach biology and AP Environmental Science, and I'm the mentor for the NASA Techrise team. The NASA Techrise is a student challenge where students submit proposals for research projects that they want to do, either on a rocket-powered lander that is here on Earth or a high-altitude weather balloon, and some years they actually have the option of doing an experiment on an actual spacecraft that gets launched into orbit. The NASA Techrise Student Challenge is a great opportunity for the students to experience what it's like to be involved in an engineering project at NASA. So during this process, the students actually get to consult with engineers, and they have a mentor at NASA with this part of Tech Challenge who is assisting them throughout the project with the design and troubleshooting and then the eventual launch of their product. And the students aren't allowed to attend the actual launch of these, but we'll be able to watch it on a live stream. This project actually got started by a group of students 2 years ago who won the Techrise Challenge in 2023, and that team built an experiment that is going to be going up on a Blue Origin spacecraft sometime this year, hopefully before they graduate. And then after they completed their project, they mentored in a new group of students this year who won the competition after submitting their proposal. So this group of students that won in 2023 were kind of an offshoot of our space club, and they decided, they heard about this challenge, they found out about it all themselves, and over the summer they put together a proposal for the project. They did it all independently, and then they just came to me and asked if I'd be their advisor for the project.
For more than 8 months, Mr. Moretti has been overseeing a group of ambitious students who have been determined to complete their engineering software. He supported them in many ways and provided materials, being their advisor.
A few weeks ago, we were interviewed by NBC Bay Area, and the students were able to be live on a news broadcast. So they did a Zoom here in my classroom with the news broadcaster. Unfortunately, we weren't able to go to the studio, but they were able to Zoom onto the news broadcast from the classroom here. Every single Friday, the students meet here in my classroom, and we have Zoom meetings meetings with the engineer that is our primary project contact with the NASA Techrise team, and so they meet with that engineer. Some of the meetings involve learning opportunities, like they might learn how to solder or something that they have to do to build their project, and other times the meetings are more about the design process and overcoming problems that they've come up with during the design process. So it's a very long and time-consuming and complicated process to design something that's going to go up either into high altitude or into space, and specific things you have to account for that the engineers help the students kind of figure out what they need to be thinking about before putting something into high altitude. We don't really meet with the NASA partners in person ever, but we work with them over Zoom on those weekly Zoom calls. And this year's project, the 2024 team, which is a different group of students, they are going to be involving the strumming of a musical instrument and how the tuning of that musical instrument changes as it rises up. So the 2024 experiment is going to go on a high altitude weather balloon. It's going to go up to 70,000 feet into the stratosphere, and at those altitudes it'll probably be hitting very, very cold temperatures, such as like -70 degrees Fahrenheit. Challenges we've had in the past, for example, involve working with chemicals and liquids, and they had to be sealed in the container, and they had to have a double containment system so that those chemicals didn't leak out during the launch and then get onto the actual spacecraft itself. So there's many, many different challenges that the students have to overcome in the design and engineering process. If anybody's interested in possibly joining the project for 2025, they can come see me and I'll put together a list of interested folks, so maybe we can get a team together for the following year.
Looking forward to more projects in the future. I'm Jillian Garcia, and this is ATV News.
Unfortunately, Dons, the pool rally will not be held today, and instead, it'll be held until after break.
Looks like that's all we have for this week, Dons. And remember,
have a great spring break, Dons!